When a transparent concept refuses to be stitched into a thin film, the diagonally inclined projection stands on a twisted scaffold, pregnant with an unfinished future. Somewhere other than here dwells in the gap between consciousnesses and reflects a number of transparent lies with an unpredictable time lag. The things called the truth are sealed in simpler wrappings, and the seals absorb the light and disappear beyond the fault line without anyone's touch. The veil of understanding is a water-repellent skin that does not have the option of sinking into the depths. Even so, the obliquely creaking thoughts dissipate without being questioned about their qualification to call themselves predictions, drift away, or leave a faint vibration at the bottom of a metaphor that no one can unravel. When the unveiled gaze peels off the excess of truth, the peeling future falls into fragments of less than words on the diagonal of the imagination. It is a forecast of the unspoken or the carcass of the unseen premonition. The oblique projections breathe next to the unspoken silence, untouchable. The sneers of the photons that dance in the air blur in the margins of the wave function that has yet to be solved, and continue to waver as if carving out an undetermined future. Unobserved possibilities are entangled in a dream of superposition and secretly contain questions that are off track. Yet, beyond the oblique gaze, the projections that assume that everything already exists try to conceal the untamed landscape and capture the untouched chaos. As conceptual angles never reach a straight line, our thoughts are always playing in the gaps. What lurks beyond the veil is not truth, but only a labyrinth of transparency, or it is an unnameable illusion of possibility that smiles faintly on the other side of the probability distribution. The oblique projection, undecided, breathes in a single error, waiting for the next observer. A thin mist of light pierces obliquely through the fallacy that only what peels away touches the truth. Before we can name the angle, the event unravels itself and sinks into an unpredictable generation. Rather than being revealed, the bare concept slides down the edge of an as-yet unnamed premonition. It is not what is stripped that reveals itself, but the very movement of stripping itself, a prayer in a corner that calls forth the unknown. The gaze that cannot cut straight across the cross-section of space-time dislikes straight solutions, caresses distorted assumptions, and secretly conceives of all possibilities. Even the movement from the past to the future requires an angle of inclination, and only those beings who are permitted to read obliquely continue to watch without observing the unfinished breath in the name of anticipation. It is a point of generation of unintended meaning, wavering between disclosure and concealment. It is the embryo of a question that itself cannot be named, the breath of a premonition that does not want a response, an anonymous angle that invites us to an unresolved blank space. Everything that can be seen is obliquely beneath the act of seeing and continues to refuse to be seen. Still, the anticipation is let go, and the oblique silence is filled with light. The veil remains unpeeled, as if only the hand that peels it off foretells the world. The veil is never removed, or by being falsely perceived as having been peeled off, it is folded over even more deeply. The more it is peeled off, the further away it goes. It is a mirage of undecidability called truth. Diagonal projections deviate from the logic of a straight line and are placed in intermittent leaps. The phases of time are distorted, and the reflection of light after the fact alters the past, circling behind the interrogator. What we think we see now is a reverberation that has been secretly rewritten by the untouched gaze of the observer. When existence refuses to be clarified, predictions are no longer predictions. Knowing, however, is not synonymous with erasing the unknown. Therefore, we reach out beyond the veil at an angle. What is to be grasped is the prediction that has yet to be named. It is an activity of attaching a temporary skin to the skeleton of light lying in advance, which keeps escaping to be released. But the skin cannot be linear. It has an angle. It bends between premonition and confirmation. It blurs the invisible area with excess lines. The word future itself is a kind of verbal anticipation of events yet to occur, destined to be retrieved in the past. In other words, the future is a trace of the misplaced foreknowledge that blurs into the past by abandoning the future. What can be predicted is always regressed to what was already there. But even the certainty of there was, there is only an optical disguise that appears only from the observer's position. The distinction between prediction and recollection is lost.